superheroes have been getting away with the bare minimum. Heroes do things that don't make sense given their powers, but we never questioned it. We didn't know any better, and honestly, it didn't matter. But shows like Invincible and The Boys changed that. They cracked the illusion, they showed us what real super beings might look like, and we actually ate it up. Those shows gave us a new frame of reference, and whether people admit it or not, they raised the bar. Now we notice the cracks. We now know that Superman can't realistically stop a plane by grabbing its nose. We now know that if Superman is fighting for real, he wouldn't be pulling his punches like it's a sparring match. So when a new superhero movie drops and it's still following the same patterns, it feels off. Not because the fans are picky, but because the genre has evolved and we noticed. And yeah, I get that it's a superhero movie, so it makes sense that it's not realistic, but even fiction has rules. When something breaks those rules, it pulls us out of the story. And I'm sure we are very familiar with this. I think that's why a lot of us don't enjoy a lot of Indian movies because their physics is all messed up. And I think that's a common ground where we can all agree that even in a fictional world, the rules matter, and we understand that it's not a real thing, it's a movie and whatnot. But even within the movies, there are rules, and if the movie breaks those rules, it will interfere with the audience experience. When you can't suspend disbelief, you can't really get pulled into the world of the movie, and I think that's where the problem is. I also think this is a quiet call for R-rated superhero movies. Let's be real, people assume that superhero movies are for kids, but a lot of us never outgrew them, and to be very honest, some of us enjoy it more now than we did when we were kids. And because we have seen so many superhero movies, each superhero movie needs to bring something new to the table. And when it doesn't, when it's just another flying guy saving the world from a sky beam, it feels weird. Not because we are over superhero movies, but because we have seen that same old perspective too many times. That's what people call superhero fatigue. Not fatigue from the concept, but fatigue from repetition. We're just waiting for something new. So here's the thing, any superhero movie coming out right now that doesn't come with a fresh new perspective or something revolutionary, it's really going to struggle to get our attention. We've seen this dynamic play out in other genres too. Take Top Gun Maverick. On paper, it felt like another flying movie, but it actually felt different. The way it was shot, the realism of the stunts, it was refreshing. It gave us something we hadn't seen before, and that made it worth watching. Now, let's get back to the new Superman trailer. Some people think fans are being too picky, but I don't think that's what's happening at all. I think what's happening is that the fans have evolved. We've seen way too many superhero movies. We've picked up patterns and we've learned what feels real and what doesn't, even in a fictional world. It's not that we are trying to ruin the fun, but you can't really unsee the unrealistic stuff once you have been exposed to better alternatives. Like it or not, The Boys and Invincible have raised our expectations. That's why a lot of fans feel frustrated. It's not about being critical for the sake of it, it's about wanting superhero movies to grow up with us. Most of us did not grow out of superhero movies, we grew into them. We love them more now than we did as kids, and because we've seen a lot of these movies, it's just going to take a lot more. Which is why I'm actually excited for this new Superman trailer because I actually did see some new things. For example, the dog. I don't think we have ever seen Superman's dog in a live action movie before. And apart from that cartoon, that was a cartoon, that was an animated movie that was about Superman's dog, and Kevin Hart acted as the other dog.
I should be a lot more dead right now, right?
So that's already a fresh touch, at least in my opinion. And then there was this one scene that completely sold me. Superman gets slammed into the ground by humans, and the ground beneath him cracks. It's subtle, I understand, but that details matters because it reminds us that we're not dealing with a regular human being here. That is steel meeting concrete. That is a being of impossible weight and force. It tells us everything we need to know about the kind of power we are dealing with. And those are the kind of details that pulls you in. So yeah, I'm optimistic, but I also get why fans are skeptical because we've seen it all before, and now we're just hoping that we get something new. There is this scene from the trailer where someone is saying, he's not a man, he's an it.
Superman. He's not a man.
isn't it?
It's always framed like it's something a villain would say, but is it really? Because every time I hear that line, I pause and go, wait, isn't that exactly what would happen if Superman were real? I mean, we know how the government works. If a literal superpowered alien landed on Earth, America wouldn't just be like, hey, buddy, want to join the Justice League? They would have him hooked up with up to 300 wires, running experiments, poking his blood, trying to see if they can reverse engineer his heat vision. That's just the way humans are. That's what we do. That's probably why we don't have wild animals running around because we killed most of them. We can't just have something that is more powerful than us just walking around in the same environment like us. What if it changes his mind? So when someone in these movies say we have to contain him, he's a threat, I'm like, duh, that's precisely what the American government would say. That's not a villain line, that's a realistic line. I always find it funny when the paranoid guy is painted as evil, when in reality he's probably the only one who is thinking straight in that whole universe. Anyways, that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you have watched this far, thank you very much. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys in the next video. Peace.